It's the year 2267 and Earth is no longer a hospitable place to live. Humans have been forced to retreat to overcrowded space stations orbiting the planet. But for those with deep pockets, there's a chance to start anew on the planet Rhea. Laura is one of those people who dreams of escaping to Rhea to reunite with her sister. To make that dream a reality, she takes up the role of the crew doctor on the cargo ship Cassandra, which will take her on a 4-year journey to station number 42. But it's not going to be an easy ride. The crew of the Cassandra will be taking turns to stay awake for 8 months at a time while the rest are in cryosleep. Laura knows that she will have to be on her toes during her shift to ensure everything is running smoothly. But before she leaves Earth, Laura sends her sister a touching video message, knowing full well that it will be years before it reaches her. As Laura boards the Cassandra, she meets the rest of the crew, including the ship's Captain LaCroix, First Officer Lindbergh, System Administrator Yoshida, and a few others. But there's also Decker, a Sky Marshal tasked with keeping the crew safe from the radical Neo-Luddite group, Machine Strikers, who have been attacking ships lately. These rebels are against living inside machines and will stop at nothing to make their point. Bruckner, the notorious leader responsible for bombing several stations, is still at large. The crew of the Cassandra knows they have to keep a sharp eye out for him. But things seem to be going smoothly as they enter cryosleep, and it's not until Laura wakes up 3 years later that things take a strange turn. Laura receives a message from her sister expressing her fears about the terrorist attacks that have been plaguing their journey. Worried, Laura sends a message back and tries to establish a routine to keep her sanity intact. But one day, she hears strange noises coming from the cargo bay. Curiosity gets the better of her, and she goes to investigate. That's when she's confronted with something banging on the cargo bay door. Terrified out of her wits, Laura runs away and bumps into Decker, who was automatically awakened when the system detected someone entering the forbidden area. After Laura shares her story, they quickly wake up Captain LaCroix, who must be present during unexpected incidents. Together, they investigate the cargo bay and find the astronaut suits thrown on the floor. Captain LaCroix tries to come up with a reasonable explanation, but his optimism is short-lived as he discovers multiple illegal accesses during Laura's shift. The trio, suited up and ready to investigate, enters the containment area, leaving a metal plate to keep the gate open. As they search for clues, Laura climbs to the upper area, balancing on dangerous, narrow bridges. Suddenly, something falls from above. It's LaCroix. Rushing to his aid, Decker and Laura find him unconscious, but their attention is quickly diverted as the gate starts to close, the metal plate bending under its weight. In a desperate attempt to escape, Decker picks up LaCroix and runs with Laura before they're locked inside. Sadly, LaCroix doesn't make it, and the crew must quickly wake up to address the emergency. Lindbergh takes charge and assigns tasks to the crew, including Yoshida inspecting the logs for suspicious activity, Laura performing an autopsy on LaCroix, and Prokop and Vespucci fixing the gate. During the autopsy, Laura discovers something surprising. One of LaCroix's eyes is an implant. She and Decker connect the eye to the computer to check LaCroix's last moments and are shocked to find an open containment unit with a biohazard warning, a stark contrast to the construction materials they were supposed to be transporting. Meanwhile, Laura and Decker return to the cargo bay, using LaCroix's badge to investigate the containers from the video. The closer they look, the more surprised they become. Each unit is connected by thick pipes, and inside, they find sleeping humans. The crew is now faced with a new question. What is the purpose of transporting sleeping humans? They contacted Prokop and Vespucci to help move a unit with a child, causing a system alert and prompting all units to move. While moving, Laura nearly falls but is saved by Decker. The unit is brought to the medical bay, causing Lindbergh to express displeasure as they were not supposed to tamper with cargo. The crew now suspects that LaCroix may have been murdered for seeing something he shouldn't have. It becomes apparent that someone had set the containers in motion to kill them as well. Despite Lindbergh's insistence that the system is merely putting the units in order and that they should return the child, Decker reminds her that this is a murder investigation. Laura performs a full inspection of the child, but is unable to learn much due to the tank blocking her machines. She asks for Decker's help, and while waiting for him to use a special program to open the unit's digital lock, Laura shares details about her sister in Rhea, leading to Decker kissing her. Meanwhile, Lindbergh orders Yoshida to investigate Decker, suspecting that he may be involved in something suspicious. As Prokop and Vespucci begin to hear strange noises from the cargo bay, the unit is finally unlocked, and Laura discovers a perfected virtual reality connector embedded in the child's spine, which is something she has never seen before. Although Decker wants to disconnect it, Laura refuses as it could cause permanent neural damage. Decker reluctantly agrees and asks Laura to keep this discovery a secret for the time being. As Laura continues her investigation into the strange occurrences on the spaceship, she reaches out to Ariane for support. But when Decker's file proves impenetrable to Yoshida's hacking attempts, Laura begins to wonder what secrets he's hiding. Her confusion only grows when Decker's actions take an unexpected turn, leaving her both shocked and intrigued. But their steamy encounter is short-lived as Lindbergh interrupts with disturbing news. The cryochamber logs have been tampered with, and Decker's role in the deception makes him a prime suspect in LaCroix's murder. When Lindbergh moves to arrest him, chaos erupts, and Laura finds herself tending to Decker's wounds. As the truth behind their destination is revealed, Laura and Yoshida realize they've been deceived from the start. And when they uncover the shocking identity of the true mastermind behind the mission, they realize the danger they're in is far from over. As Laura races to save Yoshida from the unknown threat lurking aboard the ship, she's forced to confront the harsh reality that they might not make it to their intended destination at all. Heart-pounding, the crew races to check on Decker after discovering that Yoshida has been killed. Their worst fears are confirmed when they find that Decker has escaped his cryopod, and the logs show that someone deliberately left him out. Armed and ready for anything, the crew sets out to track Decker down. Laura and Vespucci scour the lower deck and discover an open duct that seems like the perfect escape route for Decker. As Vespucci investigates the other end of the vent, Laura climbs through and stumbles upon a secret chamber filled with trash. But her explorations are cut short when she's attacked by a mysterious man, and in the heat of the struggle, Laura fires her weapon. As she takes a closer look, she realizes the man she's just killed is none other than Bruckner, the notorious terrorist. Near his body, Laura finds a box containing his belongings, including pictures of the Machine Strikers, a group working to develop natural resources. But what shocks her the most is discovering that Decker is a part of the organization. As she continues her search, Laura discovers a tablet with a video revealing that the Machine Strikers have been growing their own food and purifying their own water on Earth, negating the need to leave the planet. They just need to work harder to clean it up. But before she can process this information, Vespucci startles her with news that they've found Decker. The crew returns to the deck, and tensions are high as Lindbergh orders the men to use force to extract information from Decker. But Decker has a shocking revelation: Rhea is not a real destination, but a simulated environment where the people in the containers are being used as neural units. The crew realizes the gravity of the situation. They've been unwittingly involved in a massive conspiracy, and they have to act fast to put an end to it before it's too late. The government has been keeping a big secret: parts of Earth are habitable again, but they don't want people to know. Decker reveals that Bruckner killed LaCroix but not Yoshida. Vespucci and Prokop take Decker away to get the truth out of him. Meanwhile, Lindbergh asks Laura to send the kid back to the cargo hold and go back to cryosleep, but Laura is suspicious. Lindbergh reveals that the settlement on Rhea failed and the simulation is only temporary until they find a new planet to terraform. Lindbergh is determined to keep the simulation going, even if it means killing Laura and Decker. As Vespucci and Prokop interrogate Decker, they discover that Lindbergh knew the truth all along. They decide to capture her and put her into cryosleep. Vespucci suggests they connect themselves to Rhea because a simulation is still better than their current life. In the medical bay, Laura manages to safely wake the kid from the unit. Decker apologizes for lying and asks for Laura's help to rescue her sister from the simulation. The crew comes up with a plan to finish their trip to Station 42, where the simulation is kept. Decker will connect Laura to the system so she can send a message with the truth to Earth. It's a risky move, but they're determined to expose the government's lies and give people the hope they deserve. They're about to blow up a vital antenna, but first, they need to delay the delivery of the cargo and get 30 precious minutes to pull off their plan. The clock is ticking, and things get complicated when Laura discovers that the child is awake and wandering around. Meanwhile, Prokop and Vespucci have their own agenda, and they'll stop at nothing to connect themselves to Rhea, even if it means sabotaging Decker and Laura's plan. As the stakes get higher, Decker goes on a risky spacewalk to plant explosives on the station's antenna, while Laura decides to join him, only to face a terrifying malfunction in her suit. Decker comes to the rescue just in time, but their troubles are far from over. They need to send a message to Earth to expose the government's lies, but the units can't be unplugged without killing the people inside. So, Laura makes a bold choice and asks to be connected to the simulation to meet her sister and send the message from within. With only a few minutes left before the ship's automatic delivery protocol kicks in, Decker connects Laura to Rhea, and she finds herself in a breathtaking forest unlike any she's seen before. Laura's heart pounded as she knocked on the door of the nearby house. She had to warn Ariane about the horrors lurking on the Rhea station. But as Ariane opened the door, Laura couldn't hold back her tears. She had to destroy Ariane's happiness to save her. With a heavy heart, Laura fled into the woods and recorded a message for Earth, exposing the terrifying truth about Rhea. But her mission was far from over. Decker's devastating news shattered her peace, and they had to flee the station with the only proof of their discovery, a young girl. But as they rushed to escape, disaster struck. Laura's jetpack was broken, and Decker's sacrifice meant that she had to leave without him. Pushed away from the station by the thrusters, Laura had to use all her strength to enter the ship safely before the antenna exploded. But the danger was far from over. A fight broke out with a vicious crew member, Lindbergh, and when she accidentally broke a gas tank, Laura had to think fast. With a quick and daring move, she trapped Lindbergh in an airlock and sent her hurtling into space. Finally, Laura found the girl, safe and calm, and the two of them began their journey home. As the ship entered autopilot mode, Laura's message spread throughout Earth, revealing the horrifying truth about Rhea. In the face of danger and adversity, Laura fought to protect the innocent and expose the truth. Her bravery would never be forgotten. The movie ends here.